Let's discuss in this video why holistic advice is so crucial, especially if you're coming from abroad, moving to Germany, and planning a financial situation properly. We will talk about the correlation between different topics and why it's so essential to combine these topics to get the most out of your situation. So let's get started. If we talk about finance, we're typically talking about 4 different points: real estate, investments, so any, let's say, stock, mutual fund investments, insurance, and taxes. The problem in Germany is that tax advisors are typically more like bookkeepers. So they don't give you strategic advice to make any financial decisions, typically. In insurance, well, you have some insurance advisors. They want to sell you insurance and that's it. Typically they don't plan real estate with you. They don't tax optimize everything for you. So you also have a gap here. In investment, well, if you would like to talk to really good investment advisors, like if you would like to go to any bank, for example, and you would like to talk to the best people there, you have to invest $500,000 lump sum. Otherwise, you just have access to the, let's say, worse advisors. And in real estate, where there are not that many real estate advisors to actually advise you on everything you need to know regarding real estate, you possibly just have access to a real estate agent who's just selling the house and the apartment. Maybe you receive some further information, but also not any strategic advice on how to actually build a big real estate portfolio. This is something which makes us more or less unique because we combine all these 4 topics to actually get the most out of your situation. So let me explain how we combine these 4 different points. So if we talk about real estate, we have to talk about taxes, we have to talk about insurance, and we also have to talk about investments. Why? Let's start with the tax part. Well, if you buy real estate and you rent it out, you have huge tax benefits. So interest rate, depreciation, property management, and so on. So it definitely makes sense if we look at real estate to also look at it from a tax perspective. Especially in the future, if you generate income out of your apartments, out of your assets, we should definitely tax optimize everything so you save taxes to have more money to invest. Why is insurance connected to real estate? Well, there are some insurance types which are at least recommendable when you buy real estate. And on top of that, there's one insurance type, if you have that in place, your interest rate might become lower. So it actually might make sense to take an insurance so the interest rate is lower, so the insurance is more or less free of charge. You have protection, plus you have the loan. Makes total sense. And the investment is also connected to real estate because, let me briefly explain. If you take a loan, let's say you have 4% interest rate and you have 2% amortization rate, so the repayment rate of the loan. The interest is money for the bank. This is their profit that they gave you a loan. And the amortization is just the money they gave you that you repay it. So let's say you have a loan of 300. Let's make it easy. 250,000 is the mortgage itself and 50,000 euros is the interest. Just easy example. Okay, it doesn't work because of the numbers, but just as an example. Okay. Now you have the option to repay the amortization to the bank, or, which often makes more sense actually, is that you don't give that money directly back to the bank, that you invest that money for 69%. Because if you do so, you might pay off your real estate significantly faster. Because if the bank is giving you money for 4%, but this is tax deductible, which means, let's say after taxes is 2.5 net. So if the bank is giving you money for 2.5 and you're earning on the stock market 6 to 9, why should you give more money to the bank? If you could reach higher values if you would just invest that money. It's typically not possible for the first apartment because the bank would say, yeah, you lack some experience. But typically for the second apartment onwards, you can use this money here to invest, to generate bigger profits. And in the end, you are 4 to 6 years faster because you let the money work for you in case of just giving the money to the bank and they work with that money. Okay? So also investment and real estate is connected. Let's talk about investments and taxes. Well, obviously you can connect investments with taxes because either you optimize your contribution in the savings phase or in the payout phase. Both might make sense, depends on your goals. So also definitely something which should be implemented. So for example, what you can do is that you have, if you are single, 1,000 euros capital gains per year tax-free. And if you are married, you have 2,000 euros capital gains tax-free per year. So it might make sense to take out profits every year in this range and to use that money differently for other purposes, let's say for real estate, you know? So this is also something that should be taken into consideration. And also insurance and taxes is connected because some types of insurance are tax deductible. So let's say liability insurance, legal protection partially, and so on. So this is also important that you have the knowledge which insurance is tax deductible so you achieve a higher tax benefit. Also taxes is once again connected with investments and also real estate because the bigger your tax refund, the more investment power you have. And if you have more money to invest, you could obviously invest more. So this is really important to have holistic advice to actually get the most out of your situation. We could even connect insurance with investment because a pension plan typically goes with an insurance company to make it tax deductible. But the core of the pension plan is a 100% investment. So it's not enough that you just have a good product from any insurance provider. It's also crucial that you have a good investment core. So you need someone with deep investment knowledge. Well, and we could continue talking about that probably for hours. I just wanted to give you a brief insight because you can probably imagine now if you have access to holistic advice in comparison to just single advisors, the difference will be enormous. Because let's say you have a tax advisor, you have an insurance advisor, you have well, you probably don't have access to these two, but let's say you have, then you have 4 different advisors. One is not knowing what the other one is doing, so you don't have these perfect connections. But if you're working with one company who has access to all this knowledge and can actually create holistic strategies, you have a significantly better situation in future if you use a similar service. So if you're interested in that kind of service, feel free to reach out on our website, register for a free initial consultation, and we will see how we can optimize your situation in the best possible way. Take care and possibly talk to you soon.